What if we could utilize bodies of water to do so much more while simultaneously producing useful resources? Our next presenter uses floating plant bioscaffolds to turn nutrient pollution into something valuable. Putting the fab in fabulous innovation, welcome Reid Barnett.
So my name is Reid Barnett. I am the founder and CEO of Ceretune LLC, and we are in the business of turning pollution into possibility. The problem that we're looking to solve is massive. Nutrient pollution is listed as one of the engineering grand challenges of the 21st century, one of the greatest challenges facing our species today. And it costs the global economy, okay, it's up there, about $3.4 trillion a year. So, pretty penny. That breaks down for different industries such as tourism, real estate, water treatment, and algal blooms, and fisheries. And it's never seen nowhere more poignantly than in the algal blooms that choke our coastal waters every year, seemingly. They're so large they can be seen from space, and so disgusting that they can be smelled from miles away, especially the dead fish. This is a big problem, but to solve a problem, you have to know where to start. And I want to start somewhere a little bit closer to home. You see, I was raised on a hog farm in eastern North Carolina, one of the almost 3,400, and it seems like a perfect place to start. In North Carolina, we raise about 9.7 million hogs per year. That produces about 10 billion gallons of waste. In counties like Sampson and Duplin, that's more hog waste than human, and it's not treated in the same way. It's pumped onto hay fields where it leaches down into groundwater, runs off into rivers, lakes, streams, eventually people's drinking water potentially, and it contributes massively to our problems with nutrient pollution. North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, and they've been backing us, they're in support of us at least, and we felt like this was a great place to implement our solution. The fibrous aquatic bioscaffold. It is a buoyant, non-woven fabric that goes out on a body of water as plant. As the plants grow, they pull per acre about 44 tons of carbon, 1,200 kilograms of nitrogen, and 200 kilograms of phosphorus. And it scales quite well, actually. It costs about $600 an acre to manufacture, produce, install, and remove. And the generated value, as of right now, is about $4,500 worth of carbon credits and biomass. So we can not only remove massive amounts of pollution, but do so at no cost to our initial customer, like the farmer. Just looking at the carbon part of our market, the global market is $79 billion. If we were just capitalizing on hog farms in the United States, that's about $792 million. About 15% of that market we felt was a feasible market for us to capture at about $118 million. Our competitors, if you'd like to call them that, it's not even close. It's night and day. We are less than 1% the cost over the full lifespan of the product. We're the only one that works in hog farms. We're the only one that has no maintenance fees. And we're the only ones that allow for massive amounts of biomass to actually convert pollution into something valuable instead of just trying to pick it up and move it somewhere else. Our market strategy is simple. We're not finding customers, we're finding partners. We partner with farmers, with potentially governments and other landowners to agree to share revenue by using their pollution and their water, along with our product, credits and biomass, which we then can sell. We then install our material over their waterway, grow our plants, and then remove it and sell it off. So, pretty simple. Right now, carbon credits look to make up about 90% of our revenue. We look to be losing about $270,000 that first month, but our transportation and revenue sharing. But in the first year, we look to a net profit of about $8.5 million and only going up from there. Our team is so far myself, my Ph.D. advisor, Dr. Bradford, who's with us in the audience. Dr. Farr and the Nonwovens Institute has been an excited partner with manufacturing. The Wilson College of Textiles has been here every step of the way, and the North Carolina Plant Sciences Initiative has recently added Ceretune LLC as the newest company to the Seed to Grow program as of last week. This is how we plan to take one of the largest problems facing our environment and turn one of the greatest opportunities. Thank y'all. Any questions?
Thank you for that. I have a question just about the actual fabric itself. Can you say more of what it's made of and exactly like how that actually works?
Absolutely. It's we're working on it right now, but it is fiber spun bond polylactic acid PBS nonwoven. So we use a spun bond process. We can make a hollow fiber so that it's incredibly buoyant even after it's been growing algae, grass for a very long period of time. It's incredibly buoyant, it's very strong, and breaks down naturally in industrial composting settings.
Anything specific about the plants that you grow that consume the nitrogen and the...
Every plant in existence consumes nitrogen and phosphorus. They hold about 3 to 4% of their mass will be nitrogen, depending on the species. For what we're growing, we want to focus on hydrophytic plants, so plants that can control the amount of water entering and exiting their body. Rice is a very easy example that we use a lot. We've also looked at other native plants that are native wetland plants, or something we've looked at as well.
So I have a question. I actually grew up on a hog farm too, so I'm familiar with exactly what you're talking about and sort of like lagoon situation and all of that. And so I'm just envisioning this, and I'm trying to understand, can you just sort of take me through? I know it's
Yes.
like it's elementary, but take me through the process of obviously there's this material, you put it out over, and you're able to grow it.
Absolutely. So it's a very, very thin fabric. We cover the entirety of the lagoon. It's still permeable, so it still allows for air and water to go through. You also increase the amount of water that's being removed through transpiration, but it doesn't impact the farm or the operation in any other way. They can still pump off of it. They're actually encouraged to. And everything else stays exactly the same. We don't interact with however the farmer is running their operation. We're just adding extra value for them and hopefully putting more money in their pocket at the end of the day while preventing phosphorus buildup in their soils, especially.
Did you say it throws off phosphorus as a byproduct?
No, it pulls it in. It takes in phosphorus, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Technically, anything that can bioaccumulate in a plant can be removed. So looking at research to see about heavy metals, things like PFAS and other complicated pollutants. And there's no off-putting anything.
So it's basically a pool cover you put over the slurry pond. Stuff starts growing on it. For how long can it...
Yes.
Before you have to pull that one out and put a new one out?
It'll last for 6 months to a year, but we're also looking to see at what point are we starting to plateau with the amount of bio. So that might be 3 months, 2 months, but it can last for a year easily. And it works in just about any environment, not just for lagoons. It can be integrated into lakes, rivers, streams, estuaries, anywhere that has enough water to float in.
Good afternoon. Given the sustainability impacts, like the positive impacts there, have you all researched any grants that could help fund this?
Yes. So right now we're looking at SBIR funding as kind of the main. We are open to other opportunities. We can try to take it slow, work with the problem.
Can the non-woven be reused?
No, it cannot be reused, but the way it's designed, can actually be processed along with the biomass. So you pull the entire thing out, mulch it, and it can be turned into compost, fertilizer, biofuel. We're actually in talks with a company who wants to put our material in just about every river from Pakistan to South China for conversion into biofuel. But whatever you want to make it out of, and it breaks down very easily. That is a very good question. So since we're treating with the water, the main cost there is actually in their pumping. So it's the labor that they're using there. We wouldn't necessarily save much time on that per se. The real place where we're looking at is in reducing the amount of field space that they need for their nutrient plan, as well as extending the longevity of that. There is also some research we're looking into about seeing if we reduce the concentration in the water, can we redissolve that sludge back into the water, which might also prevent them from having to pump quite as often. We're seeing if that's the case, but that's something we're definitely looking into.